My name is Nicola and I'm part of the adult dyslexia team here at Dyslexia Ireland. In this video, I'm going to share practical tips to help you perform at your best at every stage of an interview, from getting ready beforehand to performing well during the interview itself, and then following up afterwards. My hope is that these tips are going to help you feel more confident and prepared. Just to note that you can find all of the websites and resources that I mention as links below this video. So success in any interview depends on the preparation you do beforehand. The more prepared you are, the more relaxed and confident you'll feel, which is going to put you in the best position to showcase your potential for the role. So how can you make sure that you are adequately prepared for an interview? So the first thing that you can do is to research the company and get to know them. So look through the company's website, their social media, any press releases. And this is so that you can get a sense of the company's values, recent achievements, and future goals. If you want to get a really raw and honest account of the company's culture, you could always check out anonymous employee reviews on websites like Glassdoor or Reddit. Remember, the more familiar that you are with the company, the better you can tailor your answers to any questions that might be asked. At this stage, it's worth taking note of any recent achievements or challenges the company is facing, because these might maybe provide relevant points to mention in the interview, depending on how the interview unfolds. Number 2, review the job description. So identify the key responsibilities, the required skills and qualifications needed for the job, and then align these with your education, your experience, and your achievements. Number 3, anticipate key questions. So you can find common interview questions on platforms like LinkedIn, Indeed, or career advice forums such as Reddit's Career Advice. AI tools like ChatGPT can also help generate questions tailored to a specific job. All you have to do is simply upload the job description, removing any personal information first, and then use a prompt such as, based on this job description, what interview questions might I be asked? Then, for any behavioral questions, like tell me about a time you had to work under pressure, you could always use the STAR method. So that is explaining the situation, the task, the actions you took, and the result. This format is going to help keep your answers clear and focused. So let's look at an example to explain this in a little bit more detail. So I want you to imagine that you work in marketing. In a previous role, your lead designer fell ill just 2 days before a major campaign launch. So that's the situation that you were in. You needed to ensure that all materials were completed and delivered on time. So that's what your task was. You then took action by delegating responsibilities, by handling key design elements yourself, and by maintaining close communication with the rest of the team. The result was that the project launched on time, it exceeded engagement goals by 25%, and received positive feedback from management. Remember, it's important to not get bogged down in creating long, perfectly worded paragraphs of text. Instead, you want to focus on writing short bullet points for now. You can always come back and elaborate on them afterwards. To help you brainstorm and get your ideas down quickly, You can use free mind mapping software like Coggle, or you might maybe use Word Dictate, for example, to speak your thoughts instead of typing them and getting caught up in the mechanics of writing. Number 4, practice, practice, practice. So this here is key. So video record yourself answering sample questions and play it back to review your body language, your pacing, and your tone, taking notes on any areas for improvement. You could also set up mock interviews with trusted friends, family, or mentors to help you gain that constructive feedback. For additional support, organisations such as Special Listern, the Department of Social Protection's Employability Programme, and initiatives like Towards Work offer free interview guidance, and they even provide mock interview sessions for individuals. Number 5, prepare questions to ask during the interview. So you want to show the company or the organization that you are genuinely interested in working with them. And at the same time, remember that you are also interviewing the company. It's important to determine whether the organization is the right fit for you. So, what are some questions that you might ask? So, the first one could be, what does success look like in this role? So, this is going to give you an idea of maybe the day to day tasks involved in the role and also the skills that are going to be needed to carry out those tasks. You might also ask, what opportunities are there for professional growth? And this is really, really important if you want to progress in the company. You want to know whether that actually is an option or not. Some companies, there will be more room for progression than others. So it's important to find this out early on. Number 6, request support if needed. Remember, you don't have to disclose that you are dyslexic. Before an interview, during it, after, or at any stage of your employment journey. But if you do feel that you are going to need supports, and if you feel comfortable disclosing your dyslexia, you might consider requesting accommodations just to help you level that playing field. And remember, that's all you are doing. You are leveling that playing field. You aren't asking for an unfair advantage, just the support that you need in order to perform at your best. So accommodations might maybe include extra time to answer questions. It could be maybe receiving sample questions in advance or using alternative formats. So rather than having that typical traditional interview, perhaps maybe for half of that time, you might maybe deliver a presentation, or perhaps you might maybe carry out a work project or show a portfolio of work, maybe speak around that rather than having it all focused on a very traditional interview. Remember, accommodations should be tailored to your individual needs. So it's really worth taking the time beforehand to reflect on the challenges that you think that you might have maybe during the interview and suggesting potential supports that might help you during that interview. So number 7, review your CV and resume. So if you're attending an in-person interview, it's always going to be a good idea to bring multiple copies of your CV and resume. And then, beforehand, you're going to want to check those for typos, and you're going to want to make sure that the formatting, including font style, size, and spacing, are all consistent. Number 8, plan interview logistics. So to prepare for an in-person interview, why not maybe try a virtual walkthrough with Google Maps or make a quick visit to the site ahead of time so that you feel comfortable with that route. Then for online interviews, download the platform in advance, test your audio, your camera, lighting, and practice sharing slides if that's what you're going to need to do during the interview. Remember, for online interviews, always have a backup plan ready. Things can go wrong. You might lose maybe internet connection. Um, you might also, the device that you're using might also maybe fail to work. So it's really important to have a phone hotspot at the ready or have an alternative device just in case you have those connection issues. Number 9, prioritize self-care. So it's really, really important that you are well rested and calm before an interview. Interviews can be very, very anxiety provoking and they can take a lot of energy from us, especially, if we're worried or we're concerned about them. So it's important that you get a good night's sleep, that you are calm, that you incorporate stress reducing activities into your routine. And this might maybe look like gentle exercise, it could be meditation, it could be deep breathing, and also alongside that, positive self talk. So that's the end of the preparation stage. So I hope that has been helpful. So, next up, we're going to be looking at how to perform at your best during the interview and follow up on how you can follow up successfully afterwards. I'll see you then.